Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good day, good night, wherever you are around the world. My name is Brad, also known as Baldie, and this will be video log number 11. Ooh, see that quick move. Now you may quickly realize that I am quite red in the face region and also around the neck. I actually do have a full body burn from the glistening sun of Australia. I actually went out to an outdoor pool with water slide and all that fun stuff with a good friend of mine yesterday, or 2 days ago now. And we didn't quite put enough sunscreen on and eventually got burnt to a crisp. So this shirt does hurt quite a bit actually, especially around the shoulders where I got burnt the most. But doing what I'm doing, I'm looking after it, putting aloe vera oil all over that body, and hopefully we can recover it, and not too much damage has been done. But alas, it's been a week and or a bit after that. The last video log was a bit weird. It was the first time I'd done it with somebody else. It was Mystery Man as he wanted to be called, but it was obviously Penguin. I mean, yeah, whatever. And so if you're not aware, there, Penguin and I actually have entered into agreement. Similar to what it was with Rifkin, where we're doing a competition where we have to match each other for video logs each week, and the first to lose obviously has to deal with the punishment. Now, I actually dropped the ball with Rifkin's announcement for his punishment. I did make a big video and say I was going to announce on the 1st of January, and then I totally forgot. So Rifkin has had a couple of weeks grace, but I do know what I want to do, and I'm going to make a separate video outside of this for it. But regardless, I can tell you right now that Rifkin's punishment won't come into effect until January 26th, which to some of you might mean something and might give you a little bit of a hint as to what might be the flavour of the day, so to speak. But look out for that video. I'll be recording that later today, if not tomorrow, depending on time. So yeah, that's been good. Look forward to it. I guess this week the big thing, well, there's two big things. It was the Christmas lunch and a big story about trying to get to an event. Now, Christmas lunch, you might be like, well, that was on the 25th of December, right? Well, for us, for the first time, the Baldwin family, we normally celebrate on the 25th of December, but this year, for the first time, we decided to do it on January the 5th. There's a reason for that. My younger sister, I'm the youngest, but the younger of two sisters, was overseas in America for a couple of weeks, and so she was going to be away over December 25th, and as was my brother. My brother was over in Queensland on the east coast. So it turns out that January 5th was the first day that the entire family was back home in the South Australia. So we decided to postpone Christmas celebrations till January 5th. It was definitely low-key compared to the 25th. I think just because there wasn't any other hype around, like didn't go on Facebook and Twitter or cool friends and stuff, and they're opening presents and all that. It was kind of just like our own little thing. We went up to our holiday house in Goolwa, which is about an hour away from Adelaide, where I live. And yeah, it was a pretty chill day. It was good. In terms of presents, my sister brought back some New York Yankees gear from the States. Now, I don't specifically follow any team from baseball, but I guess now, given that she's brought home that, I kind of have to follow on the New York Yankees bandwagon. So I'm sure there'll be a few hits, few misses in terms of people saying that. I don't know. I don't really find a lot of time to watch the games. I don't have Foxtel or any kind of cable TV or anything like that, and I know you can stream it live, like with all these different websites on the internet, but it doesn't really bother me. I do have an alarm set for myself to wake up now. It is 11 a.m. I did actually wake myself up at 10, so kudos to me. I would pat myself on the back, but that would hurt very, very much, so I'm not going to. I'm going to turn off my remaining 2 alarms. I set 3 alarms for myself, so just to make sure I get up. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So I got that stuff. That was all I got in terms of on the day. And at first I was like, oh, why? Like this guy, like I was kind of a bit frustrated and annoyed, like because everyone else was getting more presents. And then I realized 2 days prior to that, actually no, the day before, we went suit shopping and got me a new suit, both for the wedding. My brother's getting married in April. But we got a new suit for me and like decked it out, new shoes, new everything, and it was like $400, $500. So I was quickly realized that I had well and truly been catered for Christmas. So I guess that would be the two things, main things. I got just some merchandise and and a suit and everything. So you might see that in future casts. I'm not sure. It's a really nice grey suit. My old one was a black one when I got like a couple of years ago, but grey is apparently totally in right now. And I must say I was very happy with it. It took a while. I tried it on a lot of suits. I mean, if you're going to get a suit, you want to make sure you like it because it's quite the investment. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. Got a few ties with it as well. So overall, it was a great day. In terms of as well, over the January 5th kind of weekend was a baseball series for the Australian Baseball League. We hosted the Brisbane Bandits here in Adelaide, and we won that series 3-1, which was great. We definitely need to win. We're like a third or fourth, maybe even fifth. I'm not sure. It's very close. The top three teams do make it to postseason playoffs, so we definitely need to win. We've got 2 weeks away. We're playing Perth this weekend, who were back-to-back champions, although they're not doing as well as the last 2 years, so they might not even might not even host the grand finals this year. It'd be pretty amazing. But yeah, we're playing them. The week after that, we're playing Melbourne, which should be, not gonna say an easy win, but you'd think we should win that one. And then we're hosting Canberra on the 26th of December, 26th of January, the final weekend of January, for the final series of the regular season. And then after that, if we make top three, then we'll go into postseason. So we won that. That was really great, and there's quite a story that came out of that weekend, which I guess to put some context around it, where I'm going to tell this story as if you're imagining that I want to go to an event. So I had to go to I'd put myself in to go to an event on Monday night. Basically, the last couple of months, I'd been like what they call a room captain, or I guess an event manager for a seminar series for the landmark education that I am involved with. It was just a really good experience in terms of, I guess, dealing with hundreds of people and just a different flavor of the industry, and you learn different stuff. So that was really fun doing that, but now somebody else is doing the role that I did on the last seminar series because there's a new one starting. So I told them that I would come to the first session and just help them out, see if they need anything, give tips, advice, and what worked for me, what didn't, etc., etc. So think about that story, right? So think about Baldie wants to go to an event on Monday night, as I say this. So all of it starts about 48 hours before that. So it's Saturday. We are playing the second game. I think the third. The third game. Third game of the series versus Brisbane, and I think we end up winning that. But either way, we decide that we're going to drink, go out that night. And originally we were planning to have a few prees at the Oval, and then hop off over to I don't know, the Armour or some kind of other. Kind of like a nightclub kind of thing, set up like a club, that thing. Turns out we never made it there. We decided to drink at the Oval, and we made sure we had permission and all that first. It was fine. We outside and all that kind of stuff. So we try not to disrupt anyone, although we were quite loud. So anyway, there is two stories out of this. I'm going to finish off this story with the event, and then I'm going to come back to the other one. So basically, long story short, we drink the night away, and we ended up doing an all-nighter. We decided to do an all-nighter, and so we went into the Sunday game with minimal sleep. I think we all slept about half an hour, a bit of a power nap, just because we had to have some sort of sleep to, I don't know, rest our eyes. I don't think I actually slept well, but it made a huge difference just having that half an hour. So we all managed to manage the Sunday game. We got all that done, and straight away I went home after we'd packed up the Oval and everything, and so by the time I got home and into bed, it was about 36 hours straight that I hadn't slept, other than that 30 hours, which I haven't done in a long time. Like, I don't think I've all-nighted, rarely ever. And so, anyway, because I was so tired, I didn't actually plug my phone into the charger when I went to bed. So I woke up on Monday morning with 20% left on my battery on my phone, and we were actually meant to go up to Goolwa that day to do a bit of skiing on the ski boat that we have, or the speedboat, wakeboarding, water skiing, you can biscuiting if you really want to. But either way, we hadn't gone over summer, so we wanted to go down there, which is like about an hour away. So I'm like, okay, damn, that's kind of a bit of a drop the ball there. But I'll drive to Goolwa where I know I've got a charger there with my dad, and then I'll just charge my phone when I get there. So I was like, alright, whatever. So I get in the car, get everything sorted, and start driving. Now, halfway to Goolwa, my car breaks down. Now, this is an issue that's happened multiple times, 2 times actually, about 2 months ago, and it seemed to be fixed with parts that were replaced and everything, but yeah, on Monday, about midday, my car decided to spit the dummy again, and I mean, I don't really go into what happens. It's kind of the rev meter kind of spazzes out a little bit, and it loses power, and yeah, it's just kind of really random. Anyway, so I was halfway up this really big hill called Wollonga Hill, which anyone in South Australia probably will know. And so I had to kind of nurse my car up to the top of the hill, and by the time that happened, I was on about 12% battery on my phone. And I think we all know how quickly your battery drains when you're on the phone. Now, we have REA here in Australia, Roadside Assistance Australia. I don't know actually what REA stands for. I'm assuming it's Roadside Assistance Australia. I don't know. Either way, it's basically our road assistance, and I'm a member of that and everything. So I called them up and just to let them know that my car is broken down and they need someone to come check it out and also tow me back to, or tow the car back to the mechanic that we use. So I'm on the phone with this lady, and she's not kind of clear about where I am exactly, because I don't have any distinct landmarks that I can use. Like, I'm not in the city where I can say I'm on the corner of this street and this street. I'm just on this highway, and I'm near a turnoff, and I'm on the top of a hill. So anyway, about 3/4 through the call, my phone runs out of batteries, and just before I tell them like what my number plate is and the look of my car, and they said something about like they were going to send a patrol car out to look for me just before they sent a tow truck, just so that they didn't waste tow truck's time and everything like that. So anyway, the phone cuts out. I'm thinking in my head, so was there enough information there for them to send out the patrol car, or am I like stuffed? I don't know. So about 2 minutes later, I turn my phone on, and it's got 4% battery. I don't know, it must have like had some like little emergency energy. And I'm like, alright, cool, I got this. Finishes loading up. I quickly go to my messages, go text mum, at top of hill, Wollonga Hill, phone dead. And I'm like, and it goes send, and it's sent. I'm like, yes, alright, cool, they know where I am, awesome. And I had already told my mum earlier that my car had broken down, but I didn't tell exactly where I was, so that was good there. So anyway, I wait about half an hour, and this car pulls up behind me, and it's my brother's fiance who were going to Middleton, which is a place near Goolwa. And my brother had let them know that I'd broken down, and if they saw me, to pull up and see if I was okay and everything like that. So I used my brother's fiance's phone to check if REA had if the order had gone through per se, and to make sure they were at the right place. Anyway, I phoned up again. There was, they did send a patrol car out, but they sent a patrol car out to Noarlunga Hill, which actually doesn't exist. There is hills in Noarlunga, but there's nothing called Noarlunga Hill. So I said Wollonga, and they must have got Noarlunga. I don't know. It was confused. Either way, long story short, they had sent a patrol truck or patrol car to the wrong place, so I was actually never going to be found where I was. So we cancelled that order, put in a new one. They found me about half an hour later. Then they ordered the tow truck, and they came. And then my brother's fiance, drove off with the family once I'd been managed or dealt with. And so we got my car towed back to Belair, near where I live, where our mechanic is, and it's like you get 20 Ks free, and then it's $5 every K after that. So it ended up being a $120 tow. Ugh. But we got it back to the back to the mechanic to get checks and everything like that. And I was like, alright, I'm just going to catch a train home. It's a bit hot today and a little bit far away. Train line's down. Oh, you got to be kidding me. So I have to walk home. I get home, and then as soon as I get in the door, I realize that my phone charger was in the car. I mean, I couldn't use it. I knew it was in the car. I couldn't use it anyway because I didn't have it like a power board. But I was like, I don't want to go back to my car, like walk all the way back to the mechanic and then walk all the way back. So I was like, alright, I'll just wait until my dad gets home, because they were coming back from skiing. And so I emailed the person. Remember, I'm meant to be going to an event that night, so I don't have a car, I don't have my phone, like any battery on it, so I can't let anyone know anything. So I emailed the person that's managing the room on that night, just saying this is what's happening, and when my parents get home, I'm going to use their car and then come up, and then that kind of thing. 2 hours after my parents were meant to arrive home, they arrive home, and I'm like, oh, what happened? And they're like, oh, you wouldn't believe it. They were on the boat. Now, recently, our our speedboat was flooded. Like it got drowned, like it dunked. I don't know what you want to call it. Submerged. There we go. There was a crack in the hull, and it got repaired and fixed. But it appears that the tanks weren't drained properly, if at all. So there's a mixture of water and petrol in the tanks, and so as petrol's pumped through the valves and everything like that, obviously because it's not 100% petrol, the sparks sometimes they'll misfire because there's not enough fuel or anything to hit them, and if enough of them misfire in a cycle, it'll cut the engine. And so apparently they were skiing and the engine was cutting and everything like that. So they had to stop the boat, put it to the side, and they were like a 20-minute boat ride to where the car was, so they couldn't just like, I don't know, paddle all the way back. So they pull up to the side, and these guys on jet skis come up, because they pulled outside a house, and these guys had just bought their jet skis the day before. So my dad goes up to them and arranges to sit on the back of the jet ski, get jet skied back to the car, go get the car, and go to the fuel place and get like a little pump in like some more fuel. Because basically he just wanted to get the car so that he could put the boat on, and he said as payment that he would fill up a jerry can full of petrol to pay the person on the jet ski as a bit of a thank you. So he goes to the petrol station, gets the petrol, drives about 20 minutes around like the island to get to where he was. They load up the boat, they say their thank you, and they're on their way. But it meant they were like 2 hours behind schedule. So they get home, and by now it's like 7 or 8, and I'm meant to be there at 5, and I was like, oh. And so finally I used my phone charger that my dad brought back. I'm charging my phone, and straight away I text Jan, who's the person that was room managing, and I'm saying, well, this is a situation in case you didn't get the email, and I'm sorry I couldn't make it. This, that, and happened, and yeah, I'll be there in the next week just to make up. But I was just thinking in my head, like, literally everything that could have gone, well, almost everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, like, and it all kind of was like a chain reaction. Like, if I hadn't have all-nighted that night, I probably would have had the mental state to plug my phone in, which would have meant I would have had, I couldn't change the fact that my car was going to break down, but I would have had battery enough to solve the issue, and everything like that. And then it's just all these things. I was like, but I mean, in the face of all of it, it was like a bit of a joke. Like, I'm not one to get really nervous and scared and be like, oh my god, my car's broken down. Like, I don't have any phone battery. I was like, okay, this is how are we going to deal with it right now? Which is a really cool thing I find that's helped me a lot throughout my life is, if you're in a situation where it's not ideal and you've got X, Y, and Z not working for you, and, you might be stranded, or, there is every right or every reason to be worried, scared, panic, and everything like that. But what I've really, I don't know, proud myself on, but really learned to do is, okay, what are we dealing with? Okay, my car's broken down, I can't move. I have no phone battery, and also the other thing I forgot is I decided that when I was waiting for the tow truck that I'd do some work on the laptop that I brought. 4% battery, it wasn't charged. Ugh. So anyway, like, no laptop, no phone, no way to get anywhere, no confirmation if the REA is even going to find me. And I was just like, alright, this is what I'm dealing with. I just turned on some music, found some shade, and I was just like, okay, well, if I need to, I'll, go down the street. And I was calm throughout the whole time, and I think that made a real big difference, because I wasn't worried. I was like, okay, it's going to eventuate, something's going to happen. So I don't know if anyone's going to take anything out of that in terms of, like, in dire situations or anything. Obviously, I'm not talking about, like, if I was bleeding to death, and obviously I wouldn't be like, it's alright, guys, this is what, don't worry about it, and I'm bleeding to death, but I'll find something. Like, no, I'll probably be, like, pooping myself, like, but in these kind of situations where I have some sort of control, I find it really great that I can just be like, okay, deep breath, what can we do to deal with this, to resolve it? So yeah, it was quite the eventful Monday for the entire family. And the other thing that I was going to say, the other story I was going to say about Saturday night is, with the drinking side of things, I'm sure a lot of you are aware of the game called Kings. I'm not sure, King's Cup, it's also known as, it's various other names for it, where you have the cup in the middle and you have a deck of cards around it. Each card represents a different drinking rule or game that you have to play, and the person, every time you get a king, you have to pour a quarter of your drink, or a quarter of the cup worth of your drink, and the last person to get a king has to drink all of the cup. So the first game, I think it was like only two kings had been drawn at that point in time, but an ace card was drawn by myself, and we made the rule where ace card was a rule, like you make a rule. And by the way, to everybody out there in the world who puts the little man on the bloody drink and tells you to take it off before you drink and put it back on, you suck. I hate you. Such a stupid rule. Like, it just, ugh. I could go on a massive rant about this. I'm not. All I'm going to say is that it diminishes the efficiency of drinking, and it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. And there's always that one guy at like any party. It's like, you didn't take it off. Drink twice. I'm like, ah. Anyway, it's not the point of this call. I'm not gonna get not the point of this story. I'm not gonna go on a rant. But I got a rule card, and so in the moment I decided, okay, the person to get the last king's card, sorry, who would normally have to drink the king's cup, can do a rock off, like a rock paper scissors best of 3 versus someone of their choosing. The loser of that has to drink the king's cup. So I could actually draw the last king, pour my drink in, rock off versus somebody else. They lose, they have to drink. I don't have to drink. So I thought it was a pretty cool rule. Like, it adds like a competition at the end, which normally is just like, oh, the last king, all right, drink up. It's like, wow, this is like actually intense. And there's a video, we took a video of it on my phone. It's actually hilarious. I'm not sure if I'll be able to upload it or anything, but basically, I made the rule, somebody else got the last kings, and then they picked me for the best of 3 rock off. So I was like, my own rule is going to be my downfall. Anyway, it was really intense. We got rock, paper, scissors, and first one, I win first round. I'm not sure what I did. I can't remember, whatever. But in the video, I go like crazy. I'm like, yeah! Like, we're getting really into it. And there's like this commentary going with the other guys because we're filming it and everything. Round 2 hits. The other guy, Patrick, I'm sure you're watching. He watches every week, and he wins that second round. And it's like, ooh, everyone's getting like really amped up, and there's like someone in the background with like the scoreboard, and we're like, everyone's getting all amped up. And the last one, right? I'm thinking in my head like rock, like, cause you go 1, 2, 3, and then like 1, 2, 3, or whatever. So on the third one you show, and on the third go, I'm thinking rock all the way. I'm like rock. And then, you know, like those moments in life where at the last millisecond or at the last moment you make like change your decision. Normally it's not a good idea. Normally it's very ill-informed and doesn't get you anywhere. But in this case, I go rock, and then just as I'm about to release, I'm like scissors. I gotta go scissors. I don't know what happened, but I was like rock, scissors. He went paper. That's what I'm talking about. It was so crazy. The last one drew, and I just like stood up instantly. I was like, oh! And all these guys are jumping around me, and I'm all up in Patrick's face, like, Dad, you gotta drink shit. We're like knocking chairs over it. We got a bit crazy, but it was so funny that like something that normally is kind of anticlimactic, and it's just about them drinking, turned into like arguably, I think it was the best part of the night, or one of the best parts of the night, just because it was so crazy. So that was pretty sick. And then the rest of the night was just like, we played Kings 3 times in the end and various other stuff. And yeah, it was a pretty crazy night. But speaking of like how crazy it was, we went for a half an hour walk to McDonald's to go for their breakfast. And on the way back, because this is about 6:30 in the morning, on the way back I was having micro sleeps while walking. Like, you know how sometimes you do those ones, like when you haven't slept? I was doing that while walking. Like, how is that possible? Like, I was actually just walking, and I obviously I couldn't see myself, but I can imagine I was just walking and I would just go, what? And I was bringing back a coffee from McDonald's to a friend, and every time I'd wake back up or regain consciousness or whatever, there'd be a little bit more of the coffee that had spilled out. So, but just before I rounded the corner back to where the oval was, I was like blowing all the coffee off the top, so it looked like a lot of, like it wasn't just a mess. But I think I lost like about 5% of it just in like when so we managed to get through the day though on the Sunday, and then I managed to drive home somehow. I just kept like slapping myself, and I think I had a bit of an energy drink or something before I got home. But yeah, it was a crazy weekend, and it was one of those weekends where everything kind of lined up in terms of that night for Saturday. Like, everyone was in a good mood. We had really good, you know, atmosphere, energy, and like we just had like basically like a house party. It was so fun. You know, such a rare night. Without any dramas or anything like that. So I'm definitely up there. It's a great start to 2013, one of the best parties. Wasn't even expected. I think the parties that are made up on the spot that you kind of, alright, let's just drink, like some of the best ones, because, I don't know, people just get into the mood of just I guess drinking like for the sake of drinking and just around friends and stuff like that. So that was really sick. So I guess the only other thing I wanted to tell about, I'm sure this is quite a large video log. Thanks for continuing to tune in if you are. I hope you enjoy those stories. The other thing is I'm going to be continuing my 1v1 ladder campaign today. So some of you would have seen that on the first, I think it was the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of January, I played a couple of days at the start of the year. I actually got promoted to Platinum, which is sick. As we can see, actually I might go over this screen. As you can, oh no, I went. There we go. If I put this on here, you can see that I'm now in the Platinum League with my little hat myself. So I'm going to be starting that again. The reason I had a week off was because of the baseball series and everything else I was managing. So I'm going to be getting back into that and seeing how I fare in the Platinum League, and hopefully we'll be knocking on the door of Diamond very soon. I'd say to get Diamond by the end of January is probably what I'm looking for. Give me 2 to 3 weeks to look for Masters. I mean, ideally get Diamond a little bit earlier, but I reckon Diamond by the end of January would be pretty good. So I'm going to be starting that again, so you can obviously check out my Twitch channel, www.twitch.tv/Baldie24. You can follow that, or you can see when I'm streaming. It will have all the details there. And I love interacting with everyone, so make sure you say hello, pop in, have a good chat. So that's really on the cards. I have a couple of weeks off from baseball. I'll be doing bits and pieces here, but the next 2 weeks should be more available for StarCraft content. I guess the only other thing I would talk about is the WT Weekly return last week. It was really successful, and we've started a new system with the point system, where at the end of the year we'll have a major tournament. And actually the first WT Major is going to be on the 21st of January. I'll be announcing, putting it up on Team Liquid and SC2SEA very shortly, which will be at least $150, if not more, in prizes, which would be pretty sick. We look forward to that one. And yeah, I'm also casting the SEA Masters Cup this Sunday with Zeph. So looking forward to that. You can check us out. I think we're going to be, I'll let you know, it depends. We're switching who's going to be streaming and where we are. So, but either way, that's exciting. I remember the only other time I've cast it was when we had over 500 viewers, and that was the first time I'd had that many people, and I was like, ah! I casted with Zane. Shout out to Zane if you ever watch this. We definitely have to cast together soon. And yeah, that's really all. I guess the only other thing is part of the video log contest, we have to dance for at least 15 seconds. So what I'm going to do, the song at the start of this was Ruby by Kaiser Chiefs, if any of you are wondering. What I'm going to do is, this is all of my entire library. I actually get rid of most of my library. As you can see here, I did spend the time rating them, and I have deleted basically everything that's under 2 stars or 2 or under, unless it's part of like an album or something that I want to keep the whole album. So it is on random, as you can see here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click next, and I'm going to dance to whatever song comes up, and that is the rule. So let's see what happens. Alright, it has been chosen. Let's see, let's go past. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I will start. I find it really hard. You can't exactly like choreograph. Like that Rifkin Demise video was all just in the moment. So I'm just gonna leave the music going for a little second, and then I'm just gonna jump in randomly and get this done. So let's turn this off for the moment. Let's go over to this one. And we need to get to a more exciting part.
Brighter, and it feels like